I respectfully acknowledge the past and present traditional owners of this land on which we're meeting. They are the Noongar people, and it's a privilege to be standing in Noongar country. Look, this morning, what I'd like to do is acknowledge the work of Professor David Hill, who is the driving force behind Murdoch University's Southeast Asian and Indonesian language studies. To many of you, Professor Hill will be known as the winner of a National Teaching Fellowship from the Australian Learning and Teaching Council. Professor Hill and his team, and it's a small team, have made it possible for this national colloquium to take place. And I'm sure that you'll agree that it's a tremendous achievement to bring you all together from so many parts of the world. And I got to meet some of you who have travelled long distances this morning, or yesterday, hopefully, not this morning. And it's great to have you here. I met people from Japan and Germany, and I know there are a number of other countries represented. I hope to get to know you this evening. Since many of you are visiting Murdoch for the very first time, I thought you might like to know a little bit about the university and its campuses. I won't turn this into a talk about Murdoch because that's not the purpose, but you are visiting Murdoch University. And I thought I should tell you that we have 3 campuses in Perth, Western Australia. This campus and 2 satellite campuses around 30 minutes and 60 minutes drive from this campus. And one of the reasons that we established our satellite campuses in Peel and Rockingham was to do with the uptake of tertiary education in those areas. It was the lowest area in terms of Australia, particularly the Rockingham area, for people participating in tertiary education. And so we've established as campuses in those areas to bring more people to tertiary education. And really, if you have a university on your doorstep, there's more chance that you're actually going to come in and study. And we're very, very proud of our achievements in those particular areas. I do need to tell you that you're actually on the largest campus in all of Australia. So some of you would know that, others not, but this campus is over 227 hectares in size. So biggest campus in all of Australia, and lots of opportunities for Murdoch to grow and develop. And wouldn't it be great if that growth and development was in Indonesian studies and language? But what's meant for us is that we've been able to retain a large amount of our natural bushland, and if your schedule allows, it would be great for you to have a look around the campus and see some of the sites on campus. And I'm sure people from Murdoch here would be happy to take you on a short tour, depending on how warm it gets during the day, of course, because it's not that pleasant walking around in the heat some days, unless you are in traditional Indonesian dress, and that makes it more bearable. But for me, just the walk from one end of the campus to the other, I built up a sweat very quickly. Just for your information, we have 18,500 students enrolled in our Western Australian campuses, and we have a presence transnationally in Singapore, Malaysia and Dubai as well. Look, I've already acknowledged that this colloquium has come about by the commitment and hard work of Professor David Hill. His belief in the significance of Indonesia's role in the world, and to Australia in particular, has really filled him with the inspiration needed to win the only National Teaching Fellowship awarded by Australian Learning and Teaching Council to a university in Western Australia. The fellowship was awarded to David to develop a national strategic plan for teaching Indonesian in Australian universities. And this colloquium is a major component of his work towards achieving that goal. Personally, I applaud the work that you'll be doing over the next 3 days, and the significance of Australians being able to better communicate with Indonesia, our closest neighbour, cannot be underestimated. I'm sure that you're aware that Indonesia's gross domestic product grew by 6.1% in 2010, and when compared with Australia at 3.3% and the United Kingdom at 1.6%, it's clear that Indonesia is tracking very well. However, Australia's links to Indonesia are not only geographical and economical, most importantly, we have social and educational links with several universities in Indonesia. And in this sphere, the Australian Consortium for In-Country Indonesian Studies known as a chichis, and I only really know it as a chichis now. The rest of it I had to research because I've been working at Murdoch for some time and only think of it as a chichis, is a very skilled operative. A chichis is a not-for-profit national education consortium with 19 member universities within Australia and several from Europe and New Zealand. Established in 1994, chichis develops and coordinates semester-long study programs with Indonesian partner universities. And as the founding institution, Murdoch has been fortunate to be home to the chichis Secretariat since its inception. Now, if you don't know a lot about a chichis, I recommend that you don't return home without finding out about the programs and the support offered, because it's a really tremendous program. Murdoch University is also home to the world-renowned Asia Research Centre, and the centre is one of Murdoch's most active research centres, attracting postgraduate students from within Australia and from Europe and Asia. A recent addition to the team in the centre is Professor Vaidi Hadiz, who was recently awarded an Australian Research Council Futures Fellowship. And I tell you that because Professor Hadiz is an Indonesian national coming to us most recently from Singapore. Is Professor Hadiz here this morning?
Not this morning.
Okay. Murdoch University itself has a strong commitment to Indonesian studies and to the study of Indonesian language. And with the expert help of a chichis, students are able to spend a semester studying in an Indonesian university in their second or third year. And this added component of their studies not only increases their employment opportunities, but also means that these students have an additional international dimension to their studies, which I believe contributes to graduates who are truly global citizens, and in a world where universal understanding is sorely needed. Look, I'm sure that you'll take away something of value from the colloquium, and I know you'll be taken care of while you're on the Murdoch campus. I trust that you'll take the opportunity to develop and build on new and old professional relationships. And clearly, there are old professional relationships because I saw people meeting outside for the first time for a number of years. And those relationships will benefit us all when you return home to your own institutions and organisations. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here this morning.